Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.
Right. All right, this is for myself up here. This is for me. Actually, y'all can see me actually. Laya Shala. All right, this is for everybody. Money. Wapanya Hakudam means rise and face the east. Okay, we're going to go through the prayers today. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, then in the English. The Lord's Prayer, Abinah, Shabbat Shemai, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahala, Malakwaka, Saba'ah, Retazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratisa, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamaya, Nathanlanau, Lakam, Call Yawam, Wasalat now, Kabawak now, Kasalat now, Kabawaki now, Wala Sabiya now, Banasaya one, Abal, Hawashai now, Mayan, Rad, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahakapa Araf, La Iwalamyam, Aman. And in the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. This is Hakat, the power, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh, Baba Kusha, Nathanlanau, Hakat, Larapa'ah, Kamaka Allah, Wakol Marawa, Hakat, Latahar, Hamatazarayan, Hakat, Lahakwim, Hamathium, Hakat, Arakawa, Hatma Allah, Lakarashan, Bashimi Abashah, the water of man. And in the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, please give us the power, the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh, thank you, so be it. This is the blessed Israel, Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh, Barak Lanau, Wayasha Allah, Wahabayat, Saparian, Barak, by Hashem Yahushua, the water Aman. And in the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua, bless us and Israel and the school. In the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it. This is Psalms 121. Aisha, Ayanya, Ahaharian, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Azari, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayam, Wa'arataza, Ayatan, Lamawat, Ragalka, Ayanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'al, Yahab, Shamarka, Yahab, Tazalka, Ayad, Yimyaka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Wayala'ah, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makora, Yashamar, Atnapaska, Yahweh, Yashamar, Kaza'aka, Wa'aka, Mayata, Wa'ai, Awalam, Aman. And in English, I will lift up my eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, even forevermore. So be it. This is Psalms 83. Alahayim. Aldama Yalaka. Al Fakarash. Ra'al Tashakwat. Al. Kayahana. Awayab Yaka. Yahama Yawan. Mumashanayaka. Nasharawa. Ra'ash. Al Imaka. Ya'ira Yamwa. Sawad. Wayata Ya'ata Zawad. No sweat. Altazapa Wanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakakinum, Magoya, Wala'a, Yasakar, Sham Yasha'al, Iwad, Kaya, Nawa'ai Tazawa, La, Yahadwa, Ayaka, Baryah, Yakarathwa, Aholia, Arawam, Washama'ai Aliyam, Mawa'aba, Wahagarium, Gabal, Wa'amawan, Wa'amalak, Palasha, Anushabya, Tazawar, Gum Ashtawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zerawai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Aishalaham, Kamadyan, Kasayasara'a, Kayabyan, Benakal, Koyashwan, Nishamadwa, Ba'ayan Da'ara, Hayawa, Daman, La'adama, Shayatamwa, Nadayamawa, Ka'ara, Wakaza'aba, Wakazabak, Wakazalmanai, Call Nisaya Kamwa, Ashar, Amar, Nirashah, Lanawa, Na'awas, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapanyaraka, Ka'ach, the Ba'ira Wakalahaba, Salahat, Hariam, Khan, the Radatma, Masa'iraka, Wabawasapaka, the Bahalam, Mala'ah, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Wayabahawa, Ayai, Wayakaparwa, Where you Kaparwa, where you Abadwa, where you Da'aiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shemka, Yahweh, Labadka, Ayawam, Akal, Ha'aratiza, Amon. And in the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
Be not still, O Yahweh.
For lo,
thy
enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against it. The tabernacles of Edom and the Israelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher is also joined with them. They have opened the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, and the brook of Kissam, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a rat, and like Zeb. Yea, all their princes, as Zabah, and as the Munah, who said, let us take to ourselves the house of Yahweh in possession. Oh, my power, make them like a reel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm, so their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. Oh, Yahweh. Let them be confounded. And trouble forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame. And perish. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. So be it. This is the blessings of the power structure in Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shai. Wa Mayaka Allah. Wa Allahayim, Matazabya, Alawak Yahana, Ha Alawakim, Ha Saranyam, Hakwatazayanyam, Hakayayoyam, Ha Awaha Akwatian, Yahweh, Shim Yahweh, the water Amah. And in the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yohanan, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. These are the curses. Blessed you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us. Thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen and shake loose the treasure. And shake loose the treasures of the rich of Israel, that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter to thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and the drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the covenants of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Pasikamataz, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channel, and the radio channel. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your word throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues. Let loose all the plagues. Cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plagues take the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying saucer and punish all the heathen that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause to be known by all that is the angels that have done it. Cause to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Causing the shake of thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shah. Thank you always. So be it. Saw, which means to turn. Yeshabim. People there. That means to be seated. All right. We are going to be in the book of Numbers today. Okay, so you know the book of Numbers, which we've been reading for so far, is the book of Numbers starts on talking about each tribe and each family of Israel. And today we're going to be looking at the tribe of Levi. The tribe of Levi was, of course, split into 4 groups. Does anybody remember the 4 groups that the tribe of Levi was split into? Because today we're going to be talking about the tribe, but we're going to continue talking about the tribe of Levi's role. They had a significant role, especially when the children of Israel were in the wilderness. Anybody remember the 4 groups or clans or families of the tribe of Levi? Anybody? All right. Well, you know, one of the families was the priests. Okay. And anybody remember the priest's job? The priest had a specific job. All right. Well, you know, the priests were the ones that brought the sacrifices to the altar, approached all of the holy things. Okay. They were also the ones that would bless the children of Israel going in and out. They would say the priestly blessing. Okay. They were also teachers of Israel. Then we have the 3 Levitical families that assisted the priests. You can think of this relationship as an officer and a trooper in the UPK. That's a good analogy. Okay. The priests could approach the holy things in the tabernacle. You have the holy things in the tabernacle, like the altar of altar burnt offerings. That's where the sacrifices were brought into the tabernacle. Okay. Well, it was in the outer layer of the tabernacle. Okay. When you first walked in, you saw the altar. Okay. And the priests were the ones that could draw near to the altar. Okay. The priests could also go into the first part of the tabernacle, which was where a lot of the holy things were. Before they went in, there was the bronze laver that was outside of it, where they washed their feet and their hands. Okay, they had to cleanse themselves. Okay, before they did their duties, and they would walk in the first compartment, and you had the table of showbread. Okay, and on the table of showbread, you usually had on 2 parts. 6 loaves on each part, which represented on the 2 parts, which represent the 12 tribes of Israel. Right across from that was the lampstand. Okay. And that's where, you know, the lights were. That pretty because the tabernacle had a lot of animal skins, so it could get really dark in there. But then you had the menorah. It's like an example right here. Okay. And it was 7 lamps. Okay, you had 1 in the center, and then you had the 3 on each side that sprouted out from that. Okay, and that would give a light to the tabernacle because it get very dark. And then you had another part right in front of the second part. You had the altar of incense, and that's where the priest would go and put the prayers, which would go up, you know, before. Right behind that altar of incense was another kind of like compartment, and right behind that, of course, was the Ark of the Covenant, which represented the throne, Most High, and you couldn't go into that compartment except one time a year, which Aaron went on the Day of Atonement. All right, so those are the priestly duties. Then you had 3 Levitical families that assisted the priests. They could not come into the holy place, but they were like the teachers. They also taught in Israel. They taught Israelites the law. They also maintained the tabernacle, helped take down the tabernacle, helped set it back up. If the holy things were covered, the Kohathites could go in there and carry the holy things. They could only carry the poles that extended out of the holy thing, like the table of showbread. They all had usually like poles that would carry out. So the Kohathites, that was a Levitical family that could do that. Then you have the Gershonites. The Gershonites were responsible for all the curtains of the tabernacles. All right. And then you had the Merarites. They were responsible for all the sockets and the beams and the bars and all of that in the tabernacle. But those are the three Levitical families. And then those Levites also assisted the priests. Okay, they could bring the animal to the priest, and the priest would go and sometimes they would kill the animal. The priest would go and get the blood, bring it over to the altar. So think of the relationship between the priest and the Levites like an officer and a trooper, like we have in the UPK. Okay, because the troopers are just as big as a help. They really help set up for camp. They help get things done. They help the officers. Okay, so we're going to go in and talk about the Levitical families. Okay, and then we'll talk about some more duties that the priests have to do. Okay, because the priests had a lot of duties. Okay, let's start in Numbers. We're in Numbers chapter 4, 29 through 35. We're going to read in the Hebrew first. Numbers chapter 4, verse 29. Bunya, Mararia, Lamashapaktham, Labayath, Abatham, Thapaquad, Atham, verse 30. We're going to verse 35. Verse 30. Mabun, Shalashim, Shana, Wama'ila, Wa'aid, Bun, Hamashiam, Shana, Thapaqadam, Call, Haba'a, Lataza Ba'a, La'ibad, Ath, Ibadath, Ahal, Wa'aid. Verse 31. Waza'ath, Mashamaraf, Masha'am, Lakal, Ibatham, Ba'ahal, Mawa'id, Korashra, Slakia, Hamashakan, Wabaraya Yahyawa, Wa'ima Yawa, Wa'idun Yawa. Verse 32, Wa'ima Hakatazar, Sabayaham, Wa'adun Yaham, Wayathadtham, Wama Yasarayaham, Lakal, Koyaham, Walakal, Ibadtham, Wama Shabath, Thapa Quadwa, Af, Kolya, Masha Marath, Masha Verse 33. Za'ath, Ibadath, Mashapakath, Bunya, Mara'arya, Lakal, Ibadath, Ibadtham, Ba'ahal, Mawa'id, Bayad, Aya, Thamar, Bun, Aharan, Hakahan, verse 34, Wayapaquad, Masha, Wa'aharan, Wanashya, Aya, Banashya Aya, Haida, Af, Bunya, Hakwa, Thaya, Lama Shapaktham, Walabayath, Abatham, verse 35. Mabun, Shalashim, Shana, Wama'ila, Wa'ai, Bun, Kamashim, Shana, Call, Haba'a, Latazaba'a, Wa'ibada, Wa'ahal, Wa'aid. And that's it. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and read that in the English. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 4, verse 29 through 35. Verse 29. As for the sons of Merari, thou shalt number them after their families by the house of their fathers. Verse 30, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, thou shalt number them, everyone that entereth into the service to do the work of the tabernacle of the congregation. So from the ages of 30 to 50, and David, if we look in Chronicles, David believes set the bar maybe to 25, or around 25, they would start in training. The priests were to do a service, okay? They were to do the service in the tabernacle. So it was about 20 years of labor, worth of work, Okay. So from 30 to 25. And before then, there was training. Okay. Because the priest would have to go through a training. Okay. So, and they might have been around the age of 25, maybe even younger. Okay. Because men actually went to war in Israel around 20. So you can think they're the training, but 30, that's where maturity came in. But the priests would start to do their service. I think Yahushua was around 30 when he started his service with the people. So 30 was like the age. Okay. So that's why even Yahushua. So 30 to 50, you would do your service, and then you would stop at 50. Okay. Not saying you wouldn't serve anymore, but you would get the younger men to do things. Okay, let's go back to verse 30. From 30 years old and 50 upward, even until 50 years old, thou shalt number them. Everyone that entered into the service to do the work of the tabernacle of the congregation. And you got to think that was a strenuous task to do the work of the tabernacle. I mean, Captain Natazak brought a good point. It was like a slaughterhouse, so you got to think all the work. And so you wouldn't have a woman in there doing that? Okay, so that's why when women be serving, acting like they're priests and stuff like that, they don't understand the service and all the strenuous activity that was with the priesthood. Okay, verse 31, as this is for charge of their burden, according to all the service in the tabernacle of the congregation, the boards of the tabernacle, and the bars thereof, and the pillars thereof, and the sockets thereof. That's strenuous work. These were men that had to take down the tabernacle. And then you got to think how large that tabernacle was. Okay, so you had to have men to do that work, taking down the tabernacle. This was the families of Merari. Verse 32, and the pillars of the court round about, and their sockets, and their pins, and their cords, with all their instruments, and with all their service, and by the name you shall reckon the instruments of the charge of their burden. Okay, so they had to make sure, take it down, set it back up, carry it, put it on, certain, their wagons or whatever carts they had. Verse 33, this is the service of the families of the sons of Merari, according to all the service in the tabernacle of the congregation under the hand of Ithamar, the son of Aaron the priest. Okay, so at this time, Aaron's two sons were pretty much in charge of all of this. You had Ithamar, okay, and anybody remember the other son's name? Anybody remember? Okay, it was Eleazar. You had Eleazar and Ithamar, okay? And Eleazar would replace Aaron when Aaron died, okay? But this was but they were in charge of these were priests that were in charge of the other Levitical families, okay? You think of them as like, you have a captain over you that lets you know, to tell you what you need to do. Verse 34, and Moses and Aaron and the chief of the congregation numbered the sons of the Kohathites after their families, and after the house of their fathers. All right. Verse 35. From 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, everyone that entered in the service for the work of the tabernacle of the congregation. Okay. So once again, all right. You can see that the service usually for a priest would start around 30 years of age. Okay. Find me, I think it's in Luke, the precept where it says Yahushua, I think, was 30 years of age. I just wanted to pull that when we can. Just, we can look for it. All right, I believe it's in Luke, probably Luke 2nd, maybe 3rd, after it says right before it goes into the genealogies. So maybe in the 3rd, maybe chapter, somewhere around Luke 3. Okay, so, all right, so now we're into the Kohathites. We have the Merarites, and then you have the Kohathites, and I believe they already mentioned the Gershonites. All right, so let's go ahead and continue reading. We're in Numbers chapter 4, 36 through 42. We're going to read about the Kohathites in the Hebrew, then we'll go into the English. Numbers chapter 4, verse 36 in the Hebrew. Wa pakwadyahum lama shapatham alatyam shabai ma'awath wakamashiam. Verse 37. We're going to verse 42. Verse 37. Allah pakwawadya mashapathak mashapakaf salakia mapahafya call ha'ibad ba'ahol wa'ai ashar paquad Mashah, Waha'aran, Al, Payah, Yahweh, Bayah, Mashah. Verse 38. Wabakwawadya, Bunya, Garashwan, Lamasha Pak Wathum, Walabayath, Abathum. Verse 39. Mabun, Shalashim, Shana, Wama Ayla, Wa'ai, Bun, Kamashim, Shana, Call, Haba'a, Latazaba'a, Wa'ibada, Ba'ahol, Mawa'ai, verse 40. Wayahaya wa, Pakwadyahum, Lamasha Pakthum, Labayath, Abathum, Alatyum, Washasha, Ma'awath, Washalashyum. Verse 41. Allah, Pakwawadya, Mashapakaf, Bunya, Garashwan, Call, Haibad, Ba'ahol, Mawa'ai, Ashar, Paquad, Mashah, Wa'aharan, Al, Payah, Yahweh. Verse 42. Wapakwawadya, Masha Pakath, Bunya, Mara'arya, Lamashapakath, Pakthum, Labayath, Abathum. And that's it. All right, let's go ahead and read this in the English. What is it? Let's read that. So we want to talk about, have you noticed that we're making a point here that the priests would start their service around 30 years of age. Before that, they were more likely in a training. Okay, let's pull that verse where it talks about Yahweh starting his service around 30. Go ahead.
The book of Luke, chapter 3, verse 23. So.
Go ahead.
And Jesus himself and Yahweh himself began to be about 30 years of age, being the son of Joseph.
Okay.
The son of Heli.
All right. So about 30 years of age, that's when Yahweh started his service. So there's a correlation here. All right. Okay. So now let's go ahead and read. We're reading Numbers chapter 4, 36 to 42 in the English, learning about the Kohathites. Okay. We might do a pop quiz at the end. You know, I like pop quizzes. All right. This is the book of Numbers chapter 4, 36 in the English. And those that were numbered of them by their families were 2,750. Verse 37. These were they that numbered of the families of the Kohathites, all that might do the service in the tabernacle of the congregation, which Moses and Aaron did number according to the commandment of the Lord, of the Most High, by the hand of Moses. Verse 38. And those that were numbered of the sons of the Gershon throughout their families and by the house of their fathers. Okay, so now we're talking about the Gershonites. Okay, and we said, like I said, the Gershonites was another Levitical family. Okay, verse 39. From 30 years old and upward, even until 50 years old, everyone that entereth into the service for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. Verse 40. Even those that were numbered of them throughout their families by the house of their fathers were 2,630. Verse 41. These are they that were numbered of the families of the sons of Gershon, all that might do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, who Moses and Aaron did number according to the commandment of the Most High. Verse 42. And those that were numbered of the families of Merari throughout their families by the house of their fathers. Okay, and that's it for that. Okay, so we see that they were numbered. There was a service, and you got to think, once the temple was made, okay, there was even more. David assigned even more jobs. Okay, so once the temple was made, the tabernacle didn't have to be taken up no more. Okay, because the temple was a stationary place. Okay, so what did the Levites do then? Well, you had Levites that were making the bread. That was their job. You had some that were just literally the cooks. You had some Levites that they were the singers. Okay, that was their duty. Okay, I think the names were He-Man and I can't remember all the Jaduth, and there was one more that the main one I'm thinking of. But they were the singers. Okay, that was their job, day and night. Okay, so once the tabernacle became pretty much the temple and was stationary, those Levites were still assisting the priests. You had some that would guard the temple, okay, and you got to think these families switched out too, so nobody could get burnt out. You had priestly families that would stay there for a week, and then they would switch out, right before every Sabbath, and then the new priestly families and the assistants would come, and they would stay there for a week, okay. And so David created that was 24 courses. So 24, they would switch out. It was like 24 families, and they would switch out. Okay. So that means that they would at least come up twice a year during the week. And then at the feast time, all of them had to come. Okay. All right, let's continue. Let's read Numbers 4, 43 through 49. We're going to read this in the Hebrew and then in the English. Numbers chapter 4, verse 43 in the Hebrew. Maban, Shalashim, Shana, Wama'ila, Wa'ai, Bun, Kamashim, Shana, Call, Haba'a, Latazaba'a, La'ibada, Ba'aha, Mawa'ai, verse 44. We're going to verse 49 in the Hebrew. Wayahayawa, Paquadyahum, Lama Shapaktham, Shalashaf, Alatyum, Wama Afyum, verse 45. Allah, Pakwawadya, Mashapakthum, Salakia, Mashapakaf, Bunya, Mararya, Ashar, Pakwad, Masha, Ba'aharan, Al, Paya, Yahweh, Bayad, Masha, verse 46. Call, Hapakwadyum, Ashar, Paquad, Masha, Wa'aharan, Wanash Ya'aha. It's like it. Wanash Ya'aya, Yasha'ala, Af, Halawayum, Lama Shapakpatham, Wala Bayaf, Abatham, verse 47. Mabun, Shalashim, Shana, Wama'ila, Wa'ai, Bun, Kamashim, Shana, Call, Haba'a, La'ibad, Ibadath, Ibada, Wa'ibadath, Masha, Wa'ahal, Mawa'id. Verse 48. Wayahayawa, Pakwadyahum, Kamashnaf, Shamanaf, Alatyum, Wakamash, Wa'amwaf, Washamanyum, verse 49. Al, Paya, Yahweh, Paquad, Awalthum, Bayad, Masha, Ayash, Al, Abadathwa, Wa'al, Masha'awa, Wapaquad Yawa, Ashar, Tazawa, Yahweh, Af, Masha, and that's it. All right, we're going to go ahead and read Numbers chapter 4, 43 through 49 in the English. Numbers chapter 4, verse 43. From 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, everyone that entered into the service for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. Verse 44. Even those that were numbered of them after their families were 3,200. Verse 45. These be those that were numbered of the families of the sons of Merari, whom Moses and Aaron numbered according to the word of the Most High by the hand of Moses. Verse 46. All those that were numbered of the Levites, whom Moses and Aaron and the chief of the Israelites numbered after their families and after the house of their fathers. Verse 47. From 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, everyone that came to do the service of the ministry and the service of the burden of the tabernacle of the congregation. Verse 48. Even those that were numbered of them were 8,504 score. Verse 49. According to the commandment of the Most High, they were numbered by the hand of Moses, everyone according to his service and according to his burden. Thus were they numbered of him as the Most High commanded Moses. All right, I want to paint a picture too of how the tabernacle was. So the Most High's tent, because that's why we keep the Feast of Tabernacles, because we wandered in the wilderness, and the Most High led us, and he pretty much was, in the midst of us while we were wandering in the wilderness. So he had his own tent there. So you got to get a picture. You got to think about a really large tent, okay? And the tent had, kind of like, not, think of a modern day fence around it, okay, that surrounded it, okay? And then around the tent, you had the priestly families, okay? You had the Kohathites, okay, were on one side of that. Moses and Aaron and the priests were always on the east. Okay, the east of the tent. Okay, then you had the Kohathites, the Merarites, and the Gershonites. They were on the other parts. They were north, south, and west. Okay, so they were the priestly families kind of were surrounding, their tents surrounded the tabernacle. Okay, just to give you a picture. Okay, and that was the reason, was to protect the tabernacle, to make sure nobody died, because nobody else could draw near, unless you died. So the priestly families, especially Moses and Aaron and the priests, they were set at the entrance, because that was the east part of the tabernacle. So their tents were stationed at the entrance area. Okay, that's where the priests were. That gave priests access to walk into the tabernacle when they needed to do a service and come out. But that also was kind of like the guard. You just can't walk up into the tabernacle. Just like you can't just walk up into the Oval Office. You get shot, you get killed. Or unalived, Salaki. You get shot and you get unalived. Okay? So that's just to give you a picture. Then surrounding them were the certain tribes that were surrounding the tabernacle. Okay? You had to the east, once again, you had the tribe of Judah. Okay? I think Dan was up in the north. I think Reuben was to the south. And then you had Ephraim to the west. And then you had, those were the what is those called? The dominant tribes. And then you had tribes that were with them. Okay. All right. And that's also what was talked about in Numbers. Okay. You had the other tribes that were right beside Judah. Okay. And you have the other side. I think Manasseh was, of course, by Ephraim. Okay. And I believe Benjamin. I think they were over to the west. Okay. And then Judah, I'm trying to remember who was beside Judah, but everybody had a place where they were. And this was orderly too. Okay. So that the camp could be called out and people could move the camp in order. All right. So just giving you an idea, a picture of the tabernacle. All right. Let's go over now. We're in Numbers chapter 5, 1-7. We're going to read that in Hebrew first and then in the English. All right. Numbers chapter 5, 1-7. Numbers chapter 5, verse 1 in the Hebrew. Dabar Yahweh al Mashallah Amar. Verse 2. Tazawa Af Banya Yasha'ala wa Yashalakwa Man Hama Kana Call Tazaraw Wai wa call Zab wa call Tama'a Lanapash Lanapash. Verse 3. Mazakar I Nakwaba Tashalakwa all Makawataza Lama Kana Tashalakwam Wala'a Yatama Awa Af Makani Yaham Ashar Anya Shakan Bathawakam. Verse 4. Waya Aishawa Kan Banya Sha'ala Waya Shalakwa Awatham all Makawataza Lama Kana Ka Ashar Dabar Yahweh Al Masha Kan Aishawa Banya Yasha'ala. Verse 5. Wayadabar Yahweh Al Masha La Amar. Verse 6. Dabar Al Banya Yasha'ala Ayash Awam Asha Kaya Aishawa Makal Kata'af Ha'adam Lama Al Ma'al Bayahawam Wa Ashama Hanapash Hahawa'a. Verse 7. Wa Thawadwa Af Kata'atham Ashar Aishawa Wa Shayab Af Ashamwa Bara Ashwa Wakama Shathwa, Yasa, Al Yawa, Wanathan, La Ashar, Asham, Lawa, and that's it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and read. We'll go ahead and read Numbers 5, 1 through 7. We're going to read that into the in the English. Numbers chapter 5, verse 1. And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, command the children of Israel that they put out the camp every leper and everyone that has an issue and whoever is defiled by the dead. Okay, so you couldn't be within the camp if you were unclean. And that's why we carry that rule over today. If you are unclean, you're not allowed to come into the, where we have service, or you're not allowed to come into camp. Okay, because this is the same, we keep the same precept for today. Verse 3, both male and female shall ye put out, without the camp shall ye put them, that they defile not their camps in the midst whereof I dwell. Verse 4, and the children of Israel did so, and put them out without the camp, as the Most High spoke unto Moses, so the children of Israel did. Verse 5, and the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel. Now, let me just say something that, when Yahushua time, Yahushua was restoring people that had leprosy and that were outside of Israel and bringing them back. Okay, that he was restoring them. Okay, and you got to think of when he came into the temple and he quoted was Isaiah 61 and said, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me to bring, actually, let me go to there. Let's go to Isaiah 61. This is something that Yahushua quoted. I believe it's in Luke, but Isaiah 61, I'm just going to pull a precept. It says, the Spirit of the Most High is upon me, because the Most High has anointed me to preach good tidings to the meek. He has sent me to bind up the broken heart, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Most High and the day of vengeance. Okay, well, so Yahushua quoted this when he went into the temple, and he didn't quote the whole verse, okay, the whole chapter, but he said, this day the scripture is being fulfilled. Okay, and that was one of his duties. He was bringing people that were bound up back into the fold of Israel. He was, cleansing them. But if you read the rest of that chapter, that kind of, goes into what's going to happen more likely when Yahushua returns. We talk about the acceptable year, and then, probably around the Day of Atonement, because this kind of connects with the Day of Atonement in a lot of ways. All right, but going back, but just to say, but at this time when Moses, them, if you were a leper, you had to be put out, unless you were pronounced clean by the priest. And that's what Yahushua was doing. He was, making people clean and bringing them back into the fold. All right, but let's go back to Numbers 5. All right, Numbers 5 and verse 3. Let's start in verse 3 again. Both male and female shall you put out without the camp. You shall put them, that they defile not their camps in the midst of whereof I dwell. Because you got to remember, the Most High was was walking around in the camp. Okay, so you couldn't be unclean. Okay, and that was what is that? That was quarantine anciently. That was ancient quarantine. Okay, so you can see that a lot of people understood quarantine. They got their ideas from the Bible. Verse 5. And Moses spoke, and the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, verse 6. Speaking to the children of Israel, when a man or a woman shall commit any sin that men commit, to do a trespass against the Most High, and that person be guilty, they then shall confess their sin which they have done, and he shall recompense his trespass with the principal thereof, and add unto it the fifth part thereof, and give it unto him against whom he hath trespassed. I think Officer Karab made a great point. I don't want to misquote him, but when you committed a sin, you were losing value to the things that you needed or wanted. Okay, but it showed what sin can do. Okay, because when you trespass, you don't know what you've caused that other person to lose. Okay, and so you gotta kind of atone, or you had to make up for that. Okay, especially like if you trespass, I stole something, that you had to make up for that, because you don't know what that person had to lose or lost when you did a trespass against them. Okay, or you did a trespass against a priest. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and read that in the Hebrew. Oh, I think we already read that in the Hebrew. All right, yeah, we already read that in the Hebrew. All right, let's go to now. We're in Numbers 5, 8 through 14. We're going to read that in the Hebrew first. Numbers 5, verse 8 in the Hebrew. Ayan, Ayash, Ga'al, Lahashayab, Ha'asham, Alyawa, Ha'asham, Hamawashab, La Yahweh, Lakahan, Malabad, Ayal, Hakaparium, Ashar, Yakapar, Bawa, Alyawa. Verse 9. Wakal, Thara, Wama, Lakal, Quadasha, Bunya, Yasha'ala, Ashar, Yaquariab, Yaquariabwa, Lakahan, Lawa, Yahaya, verse 10. Ayash, Af, Quadashiwa, Lawa, Yahayawa, Ayash, Ashar, Yathan, Lakahan, Lawa, Yahaya. Verse 11. Wayadabar, Yahweh, Al, Mashah, La Amar, verse 12. Dabar, Al, Bunya, Yasha'ala, Wa Amarath, Alaham, Ayash, Kaya, Tashata, Ashathwa, Mawa Allah, Bawa, Ma'al, verse 13. Wayashakab, Ayash, Atha, Shakabath, Zarai, Wana Ilam, Ma'ayanya, Ayasha, Wana Sathara, Wahaya'a, Natama'a, Wa'ai, Ayan, Baha, or Ba, Wahawa'a, La'a, Nathapasha. Verse 14. Wa'ibad, Wa'ibar, Alyawa, Raka, Quana'a, Wanaquana'a, Af, Ashathwa, Wahawa'a, Natama'a, Awa, Ibar, Alyawa, Raka, Quana'a, Wanaquana'a, Af, Ashathwa, Wahaya'a, La'a, Natama'a. And that's it. All right, let's go ahead and read this in the English. Numbers chapter 5, verse 8 in the English. But if a man have no kinsman to recompense the trespass unto, let the trespass be recompensed unto the Most High, even to the priest, beside the ram of the atonement, whereby an atonement shall be made for him. Verse 9. Every offering of all the holy things of the children of Israel, which they bring unto the priest, shall be his. Okay, so the priests benefited from the offerings, okay, because they were doing the service all day. Okay, you see how the Most High is just. He made sure he took care of the people that were doing the service for them. He made sure that the Israelites, looked out for them because they were doing the service, because they drew near and made sure that people weren't dying if they were disobedient. They were the ones who drew near, made atonements, brought the animals to the altar. They were doing that. So because of their service, the Most High made sure they benefited from the things of the altar. Verse 10, and every man's hallowed thing shall be his. Whatever any man give it to the priest, it shall be his. Verse 11, and the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and saying to them, if any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him, verse 13, and if a man lie with her carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and be kept close, and she be defiled, and there be no witness against her, neither she be taken with the manner. Verse 14. Okay, so this is talking about if a woman commits adultery, that means goes into another man except her husband, and there's no witnesses. If there's witnesses, then what would happen to her? She'd be put to death, and the man would too. Okay, you got to remember that. Both would be, okay? The adulteress and the adulterer would both be put to death. Okay, remember how they tried to trick Yahweh Shah by just bringing the woman forward and said, this woman's been caught in the act of adultery. Okay, didn't bring the man forward. Well, she was caught in the act. Okay, where's the man? And that's how Yahweh Shah outsmarted them and said, okay, he's without sin cast the first stone. Okay, he outsmarted them, okay, because they didn't bring, according to the law, the both had to become in stone. Okay, but they did not. They didn't do that. Okay, but in the manner, according to the law, both have to be brought forward. Verse 14, and the spirit of jealousy come upon him. So if the woman is maybe done something, or the husband suspects it, it says, and the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled, or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him and he be jealous of his wife and she be not defiled. So this is talking about if he suspects that maybe she's cheated. Okay, the spirit of jealousy comes upon him. He's suspecting. Okay, so she might have, and when I say she committed adultery, okay, she went with another man. Okay, so he suspects it, but he can't verify it. Okay, he just suspects it. She could actually be innocent. Okay, it says the spirit of jealousy comes upon him. He's just suspecting things. Okay, all right, and that's it for that. Okay, all right, we're now in Numbers chapter 5. We're reading 15 through 21. We'll read that in the Hebrew first. Numbers chapter 5, verse 15 in the Hebrew. Wahabayah hayash ha'ayash af ashafwa all hakahan wahabayah af wakorabna alya aisha yaraf ha'ayapa kwamak sha'aryam la'a yatazak alyawa shaman wala'a yatan alyawa labana kaya manakaf kwanaaf hawa'a manakaf zakarwam mazakaraf alwan iwan. Verse 16, we're going to verse 21. Waha korayab atha hakahan waha mada lapanya yahawa. Verse 17. Wala kwak hakahan mayam kwadashim bakolya karash waman ha'ipar aishar yahaya bakwara kwai hamashakan yakwak hakahan wanathan al hamayam. Verse 18. Ha'imad amiyad hakahan af ha'aisha lapanya yahawa waparai af ra'ash hasha wanathan al kapaya af manakaf hazakarwan manakaf kwanaaf hawa'a wabayad hakahan yahayawa maya hamariam mahama arariam. Verse 19. Wahashabya'a Rashabyai Atha Hakahan wa Amar Al Asha La'a Shakam Ayash Athak wa La'a Shatayaf Tama'a Thakaf Ayashak Hanakwaya Hanakya Maya Hamariam Hamarariam Ha'Allah. Verse 20. Wa'af Kaya Satayaf Thakaf Ayashak Wakaya Natama Af Wayanathan Ayash Bak Af Shakabathwa Mabala Aya Ayashak. Verse 21. Wahashabayai Hakahan Af Ha'asha Hasha Bashabayaif Ha'ila wa Amar Hakahan La Asha Yathan Yahawa Athawak Awathak Slakin Ala'am Wala Shabaiha Bathawak Imad Bathaf Yahawa Af Yakarak Napalaf Wa'af Batanak Tazabah. And that's it. All right, we're going to go ahead and read Numbers chapter 5, 15 through 21 in the English. Numbers chapter 5, verse 15. Then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest. Okay, so you see all the jobs the priest had here. Okay, that's why there were so many priests. Okay, and that's why the most I said that, talked about how, talks about in Jeremiah 33 about the number of the priests, be many, many priests, because I'm paraphrasing, but because it was so many. If the children of Israel are the sand of the sea, then you got to have priests that are going to be there to to serve them. Okay. So then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of the ephah of a barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereof. For it's an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. Okay, so this is an offering of jealousy. Okay, because he suspects that his rib has not been faithful. Verse 16. And the priest shall bring her near and set her before the Most High. Verse 17. And the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that's on the floor of the tabernacle, the priest shall take and put it into the water. Verse 18. The priest shall set the woman before the Most High and uncover the woman's head. This is a proof that the women had their heads covered. Okay, this is proof. You know, some people say, no, it's not. Okay. And put the offering of the memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have it in his hand, the bitter water that causes the curse. Verse 19. And the priest shall charge her by an oath and say unto the woman, if no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causes the curse. So pretty much, if the woman is not lying, okay, then she won't be harmed. Okay, the curse of the Most High won't be upon her. Okay, however, verse 20, but if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man have lain with thee beside thine husband. Verse 21, then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing. And the priest shall say unto the woman, the Lord make thee a curse and an oath among thy people, when the Most High doth make thy thigh to rot and thy belly to swell. And this is, of course, probably, and this was also to deter, you know, people from whoredom in Israel. Okay, this was to deter whoredom all throughout Israel. Okay, some people might say, oh, this sounds so harsh. Well, when things are not put in place, you got a lot of whoredom, you know, people that just sleep with anybody. And that's what's going on in this society. Okay, but when we put certain things in place, that is to protect, you know, the integrity of the daughters of Israel, then you'll get less whoredom. Okay? All right, and that's it for that. All right, we're going to end it off today. We're in Numbers chapter 5. We're going to read 22 through 28 in the Hebrew. Numbers chapter 5, verse 22. Wayaba'ah hamayam hama-arariam ha'allah ba'ma'ayak la-tazabawaf batan wala Nepal Yarak wa-mara wa-ha'asha aman, verse 23, wa-kathab af ha'alaf ha'allah ha'kahan basapar wa-maka maya hamariam, verse 24, wa-hashakwa af ha'asha maya hamariam hama-arariam wa-ba'awa ba hamayam hama-arariam lamariam, verse 25, wala kwak hakahan mayad ha'asha af manakaf hakwa na af waha nayak af hamanaka lapanya Yahweh waha korayab atha al hamazabak, verse 26, wakwa kwamataza hakahan man hamanaka af hasakarata waha kwatayar hamazabaka wa akar yashakwa af asha af hamayam, verse 27, wahashakwa af hamayam wahayata natama watha ma'al ba'ayasha wa ba'awa ba hamayam hama-arariam lamariam watazabata batana wanapala yaraka wahayata asha la'ala bakwarab aima, verse 28, wa'am la'a natama'a Asha, Watara, Watahara, Hawa'a, Nawakwata, Wanazaraiha, Zarai, verse 20. Oh, and that's it. All right, let's go ahead and end it off reading the book of Numbers, chapter 5, 22 through 28. Book of Numbers, chapter 5, verse 22 in the English. And this water that causes the curse shall go into thy bowels to make thy belly to swell and thy thigh to rot, and that woman shall say, Amen, amen. Okay, so she's agreeing. Okay, when you got to remember when there was agreement going on, almost like a covenant, you had to agree to the blessing and the curse that came with it. Okay, when Israel entered into the covenant Most High, they had to agree with the blessing and the curse. So she's agreeing with this. Okay, and if I'm not holding up to what I'm saying, I agree to the curse that the Most High will bring onto me. However, if not, then this will not come on to me. Verse 23. And the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall blot them out with the bitter water. Verse 24. And he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causes the curse. And the water that causes the curse shall enter into her and become bitter. Verse 25. And the priest shall take the jealousy offerings out of the woman's hand and shall wave it offering before the Most High and offering upon the offering. Verse 26. And the priest shall take a handful of the offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it upon the altar, and afterwards shall cause the woman to drink the water. Verse 27. And when he have made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled and have done trespass against her husband, the water that causes the curse shall enter into her and become bitter, and her belly should swell, and her thighs shall rot, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. So pretty much like a plague will come upon her. Okay, and she'll be a curse. And she agreed to it. That's why she said, Amen, amen. However, verse 28, and if the woman be not defiled, but be clean, then shall she be free, and shall conceive seed, and shall continue to have children with her husband, because she was not, she was innocent. Okay, all right, and that's it. All right. So, just to review today, we went over a number of things. We went over the duties of the priests, of the priestly families. We have 4 priestly families. We have 4 families, 1 priest family, but 4 Levitical families. Okay, we have the priests. What was the other 3 families called? That were the Levites and the sister priests. Am I remember? The Kohathites, the Gershonites, and the Merarites. How do you ever pronounce? All right, those are the 3 Levitical families that assisted the priests. Okay, the Kohathites were in charge of setting up and taking down the holy things. Okay, but they could not touch the holy things. They only could touch the poles that extended out of, and the holy things had to be covered before they even touched them. Okay, so they moved that. Afterwards, you had the Gershonites that would come down and take all the hangings of a tent. You have the curtains that surround it, and those hangings weren't light, folks. They were maybe from animal skins, and okay, so they had to take all the hangings down. The Gershonites. Then after that, you had the Merarites that would come and take all the poles and the crossbars and the sockets up. Okay, these are the 3 priestly families. The 3 Levitical families that assisted the priests. Okay, in the tabernacle. What ages? Let's review. What age did you start the service of the priesthood? I remember. You remember?
From ages 30 going up to 50.
Okay, so you started at verse 30, and you did the service until you were in the age of 50. And we correlated that. Yahweh Shah started his service at around the age of 30. Okay, because he was doing priestly type services. He was pronouncing people clean. Well, he told them after he healed them, go show yourself to the priest so that they can pronounce you clean. So he still followed the Levitical laws that were in place. Okay, all right. And then we talked about that if you were unclean, that you were outside the camp, and that we pretty much do that today. Then we talked about what happens if a man is suspecting that his wife is not faithful, that what would happen, how we would bring her to the priest, and then they would have to go into an oath of whether she was innocent or whether she was guilty, and she would go into the agreement. Okay, if she was innocent, she could go produce seed with her husband, I mean, to have children. If not, she would become a curse and a plague would come upon her. All right. In that case, any questions? All right. Just myself up here. I'm not. La Yashala. All right, this is just for the people up here. I mean, but this is for everybody. Aima. Wapanya Aquadam. Wapanya Aquadam means rise and face the east. I'm going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew and in the English. The Lord's Prayer. Abanau. Shabbat Shemayim. Quadash. Hayah. Shamka. Yahal. Malak Wafka. Laba'ah. Ritazayaka. Hayah. Aisha. Ba'arataza. Kawa. Hayah. Mashamai. Nathan now. Lakam. Call. Yawam. Wasalat now. Kabawat now. Kasalat now. Kabawati now. Wala'ah. Sabya'ai now. Manasaya one. Abal. Habashai now. Mayan. Rad. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Waha'ala. Wahafafa Araf. Wahafafa Araf. La'awalamyam. Aman. And in the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Sorrow to turn. All right. This concludes the service. Okay, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Okay, with just myself and Super Ayat. So we'll just give one courtesy salute. All right. Aimadi Shabbat. Aimadi. Barak.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah. Yagimata. Class is missed. Wait a minute. Change that up. Yep. And and you can, if you want to put the password one back up, you can, or you can do another one however you want. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So people can see the ouch Passover.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. the biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yohana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and war like apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.